Don't do this. These are the 5 don'ts for all electrical do-it-yourselfers. Number 1, never reach in and touch exposed wires even if you think that they have been de-energized. One common mistake is people reach in after they think they've shut power off, but they haven't completely isolated the circuit and they get that jolt and electrical shock. Well, then how do you know if you've really completely turned power off? Well, I'm glad you asked. So number 2 is don't just rely on one method of checking if you really have removed power. So the first method we're going to talk about to make sure that we've isolated power is checking it with the multimeter. So to use a multimeter to check to see if you've isolated power, let's use a common outlet, for example. And what you're going to want to do is check the top and the bottom outlet. Make sure you check both because sometimes these outlets are wired for dual circuits and you can remove power to the top but not the bottom or vice versa. So to do this, you simply turn your multimeter to the voltage. Now if it's an AC circuit such as this, you of course want it in volts AC, and then you're going to stick one lead in each side of the socket and you should get 0 volts or millivolts, which is close enough to 0. Okay, our second method that we're going to use to check to make sure we've isolated power from the circuit is a standard ground check wall plug checker. Now, with this, you're going to want to use it in both the top and bottom. So for the third don't just use this in the top or the bottom socket. Make sure you check both. And to use this voltage checker, it's really easy. You're just going to insert the plug like any other plug into the socket. As we said before, make sure you test the top and bottom circuit. If it lights up, you've got power. If you get no lights, then you have no power to the circuit. And for the third method, we're going to use the contactless voltage checker. And for the fourth, don't use this unless you've tested it on a live circuit first. So to use this contactless voltage checker, it's pretty simple. You don't have to touch anything. You just bring it near the power source and it will vibrate and light up orange. And again, when you're using this contactless voltage checker, you're still going to want to check the top and bottom socket, or if you're working with another type of circuit, make sure you poke around, check all the wiring in the circuit to be sure that you have isolated power. And the fifth and final don't, this one's kind of funny, but hey, I've seen a coworker do this. Don't hold a circuit breaker down after it's tripped and hold it on until you find out what is causing it to trip. Because when you do that, you will find out what's causing it to trip, but most likely that's after a smoke and fire incident at the circuit or a shorted component that has caused it to trip. So never ever hold the circuit breaker down until you find the problem. That's not a good way to find it. Although it might work, you may burn your house down in the process. So don't do that. Okay, so hopefully these quick 5 don't electrical safety tips will help you in your endeavors as you tackle your at-home do-it-yourself electrical projects. Just remember, stay safe out there. That's the main thing, and have fun. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe here and watch our next video here.